Hey guys, so I know some of you asked me a question about like what kind of things can I do with Linux. Well, this right here is actually my home theater PC, just so that you can see. It's just a gateway computer that I repurposed. Got it for free, just lucked into it, and I've done a few hardware upgrades to it. But basically, it's home theater PC. This is actually the GUI for it. It's running Ubuntu Linux. I have it running what's called Kodi Media Center on top of it, which is available for Windows, Mac, and Linux, so you don't have to run it on Linux. I just use Linux as the back end because I don't have to worry about a bunch of other things, and I can do a lot more with it. So, for example, let me get my remote over here. This is actually my remote and keyboard for it. Logitech Lenovo Mini. I got it online for $20 in Bitcoin used. So we can actually see, one second, let me get my hand adjusted. So we can actually see I can scroll through, I can open up my videos over here, and a little hard to do this two-handed. So we can go to, like, say, my movies here. We can actually pull up a list of the movies, and it actually goes. Let's just, like, pull up a movie for a second here. These are movies that are actually stored on the computer. So we can see, I can play, pause. Now this is the cool thing. While it's actually playing, we can still have things going on in the background. So say I want to find a different movie, maybe play music. I also have XBMC torrent built into this, so that I can download the movie, and while it's still downloading, it'll stream it. There's many things. It's just quicker to actually say it than go through it. Now the cool part that I did with this that makes this kind of different than I can do with, say, a Mac or Windows. Well, I can do it with Mac or Windows, but just not as well. So we're going to go over here to my Surface, just so I can show an example. Let me go into my address here. So this is actually the address locally, if you see. Port 8081, and that's my Qbit torrent, so I'm going to log into that. And we can see here, this is actually my BitTorrent client, and it's actually running on the Media Center. So it's actually seeding these right now that I finished downloading last night, just a couple of animes, and I can administrate just like I would any BitTorrent client. So if I want to add a magnet link, I can just copy and paste it into there, or I can upload the torrent file. That's one of the things it does. Now we can also go to 8080, is it? Yeah, 8080. That is my Google Maps outlay that actually what it's doing is it's tracking airplanes. Now it's not actually, it's getting the raw data, but we'd actually have to, I don't have the application that I usually have for it. I need to set it up. But there's an application I use for Surface that can read the raw data that it broadcasts over the internet, so it can actually plot planes on a map. And it does it splendidly. But I just haven't set it back up since I re-imaged this. So let's go to 8082. And this is actually another part of Kodi. Let me log in. And we can see, and this is all while the movie is still playing, mind you, so I'm not disturbing the movie at all. So let's go on to here. We can see I can use it as the remote for the actual TV. See? Play. Pause. I can control the volume, anything like that. I can also navigate my entire movie library right here, and actually, you know, pull up information for the movie, play it from here. So, now it's bringing up Blazing Saddles. Same thing with TV shows and music. I have another thing I'm working on called Sickbeard, which is an alpha right now. It's another open source software. Yeah, I don't have it on. Basically, it's going to be a TV organizer that all my shows I download, since a lot of them I download, it's going to scrape the data for me so I don't have to manually do that, and then categorize them for me. But that's still being worked on. And then, just to do even more things that we can show, I have the server set up to do Samba. So if we look right here, H, so you can see right now, that's not actually my computer. Give it a second here. Alright, This is actually the home folder, the /home to be specific, of my media center. This is my user profile on my Linux box. I have set up with Samba that Windows, Mac, and Linux can connect to. And we can actually see right here in my videos, all the actual videos, how they're organized. You can see here I was streaming Big Bang Theory last night, among other things. And I have them organized in there. So I can do a lot more with this than I could with Windows. I even have, if you see on here, my Windows images. These are actually where I store my backups for. So I have quite a bit of things in here. XBMC, there's Sickbeard, which I would have to launch. I'm not going to do that right now. And then you also the other thing I can do is called SSH, which is a way to remotely connect to a computer. And this is one thing that Linux can do that Windows definitely can't do. So I'm remote connecting to my SSH server. And you can see right now I have one package can be updated and one package is a security update. So we're going to actually run some commands so that I can get an update. This is going to update the software list, just so that I'm up to date with all the possible packages. Sudo apt-get update. Apt-get is the actual program. Sudo just tells it to run it as root temporarily, so I don't actually have to run as root. Now it's just pulling from all the websites, the information. The interesting thing about Ubuntu is that, Linux in general, is the package managers, they manage all the packages. And I'm talking everything from the Media Center front end to Mozilla Firefox. Every part of it is updated with the update manager. You don't have to go around running around for new drivers or anything like that. It takes care of all of that. So we're going to do sudo apt-get upgrade. And then it tells you what packages are, going to be installed. I click yes. And right in the background, while this is still playing the movie, the user doesn't even know I am doing my update. You can't do this with Windows, because Windows and Mac both rely on the user interface too much. Well, Mac you can do it, because it's a Unix front end. It's a Unix-like operating system, so you can do it there too. Alright, so it's just reading the database. And it's just setting up all the packages. And a lot of updates, it actually doesn't even require an upgrade. A reboot. And there we go. It's update. My system is now up to date, and it didn't even affect my movie. So that's basically just an idea of some of the things you can do with Linux.